It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Brew York Beer, and it's a can of their Holding Back the Tears. It's a 5.2% ABV classic American style pale ale. 440 milliliter can. There's the label. Work out from a distance. Work out what's going on the can. Big fan of Brew York. I'm going to get this out into a glass, see what we get. A little bit of smoke on the can opening. Beer in the glass. I think the name's classic. You know, it's from a couple of months ago really, where we're all stuck in different tiers throughout the UK. Just a nice, you know, a nice bit of fun with the current situation. That's what it's about, isn't it? One finger, white head, good levels of carbonation, slightly hazy looking American style pale ale. I imagine it's a little bit more hazy when we get the rest of the can in the glass. Looks really good. I reckon it's a lighter, almost a straw coloured pale ale, rather than a, you know, like a deep amber colour on there. Aroma. Oh yeah, really hoppy. That classic, dare I say it, but it's a good kind of marker really. You know, your Sierra Nevada pale ale. That's your kind of your ballpark, grab it off the supermarket shelf style American pale ale. That a lot of, you know, there's a lot of brewers that base their beers on that. I'm not saying necessarily Brew York have based this beer on Sierra Nevada pale ale, but you get that kind of lovely, juicy, grapefruity style aroma going on here. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh, yeah. Classic style American pale ale. Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows. This harks back to, oh yeah, you know, an American pale ale from 5 years ago, where you get that beautiful kind of light, crisp malt flavour to begin with, and then it just pushes over into grapefruit and pine needle. Loads of pine needle, like you grab some pine needle off the tree and you rubbed your hands together and you get all them pine needles and you smell them, and you know, you would never taste them, but you get that kind of big, strong, piney, pithy, classic bitterness on the back end as well. Really good. I shook the glass then. I was meant to shake the can just to see if it is indeed... yeah, there you go. So, a much better representation of this beer is getting the whole beer in the glass. This is how the brewer would want you to drink it. These days, I remember pouring brewers' beers out 10 years ago when I first started the channel. And, you know, I'd be pouring all the sediment in and all the shopping trolleys and chires and everything else that was in beer back then. And people would be like, no, don't put all that yeast in the beer. But how things have changed. How things have changed over the years. Now you're almost encouraged, or you are encouraged to get all that lovely goodness, unfiltered goodness as I like to call it, into the glass. A little bit of orange peel, grapefruit, pine needle again, maybe a touch of passion fruit and mango circling round in the background, just a little bit. It's more classic. I'm really pleased actually. Classic American Pale Ale. I cannot tell you the last time I had a classic American style Pale Ale, where it's really refreshing, it's really juicy, you get the hops, you get the malt, and it's got a wonderful kind of bitterness on the back end. I'm really quite excited to have an old school American Pale Ale in my hand here. Of course, brewed in the UK, in York. Not to be confused with New York in America. Oh, it's just lovely and refreshing. Just a lovely, refreshing... You can probably see me bumping my lips together. You know, doing what your mouth does to extract all of that flavour from the beer. And, you know, you're punching your gums round. And oh, yeah, really good. Bumping, that's the word. Bumping your gums round. You know when you get like a really good handful of dry roasted peanuts and you're like, you know, you're smacking your lips round and you're licking your lips, and that's what I'm getting from this beer. Just trying to get every single last bit of flavour from the beer. Really good, and a nice mouthfeel as well. A nice mouthfeel from that malt. I've not really talked about the malt that much. It's a nice sweetness, nice kind of light wafer-like biscuity flavours coming through. Really good, really good. Carbonation pushes the beer round the inside of the mouth, releases more of that flavour. I'm properly impressed with that. Let's see how far off I was. So Brew York use a sliding scale, like some kind of flavour beer wheel thing that they call it. Yeah, you can see, look, it's bitter. That's right, yeah, you can see it's bitter there. Bitter and hoppy. Right. Classic American Pale Ale. As we all continue to adopt the tiered local restrictions, full national situation, and goodness knows what else in the coming weeks and months, we thought we'd release a beer that harks back to more normal times. This is a classic American Pale Ale with a good level of bitterness from a time before hazy beer and situation life. Yeah, it's just perfect. Absolutely perfect description of the beer. And I want to see more of it. Any brewers out there watching, I want to see more of classic American style pale ales. I really do. I love them. I love them. I've always been a fan of a lovely smack of bitterness in my beer. I always have. Just like it. This has plenty of it. Nice lacing on the glass. You can see as I rock the beer back and forth, you can see the carbonation chasing the head up the glass there. Let's get one final aroma and flavour and rate it. It's so punchy and lovely. Rating. I like that beer enough to give it a Stone the Crows 9 out of 10. So 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.